Okay, so as you know, for the past 10 years, Norm Wells of BMW Motorrad fame and myself have been exploring some of the best riding roads in North America, from the Rockies to the Grand Canyon, Vancouver Island to Cape Breton. And last week we kicked off a brand new ultimate ride when we touched down on The Rock in St. John's, Newfoundland. When we arrived, we picked up our motorcycles from Keith Windsor and his team of nice guys over at Avalon Motorrad BMW, aka the Toy Box, before checking into the Quality Hotel located right on the harbor in downtown St. John's. Today we're going to pick up our story the very next morning on the southwest side of St. John's at Norm's Aunt Millie and Uncle Max's house. That's right, you heard me right. I said Aunt Millie's place. You see, after poking around a little bit in the downtown core and soaking in the local flavor, we decided that before we strike out for our first day on the Rock, we had better get a good hearty breakfast in us. One that includes beer. Right? Well, Norm, here we are officially kicking off day one of our ultimate ride in Newfoundland, and what a perfect start. We went to your aunt's for breakfast.
Not bad, eh? And,
no, not everybody's going to be able to do this.
No, obviously, and big beautiful day, and we started off with a very traditional type breakfast. Your introduction to fish and brews.
Yeah.
And, for whatever reason, you thought it was fish and beer, but you quickly found out that it wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it was a great way to start the morning off.
It was delicious and a warm welcome, and now we got the whole day ahead of us, and we've got a fabulous, fabulous September fall day here. What are we going to do today?
Well, today we're going to stay pretty much in the St. John's area because there's a lot to do here, and people who would come here normally from the Port aux Basques side, you have to remember it's 900 kilometers from Port aux Basques to here if you're going to ride across. So
right.
You need to plan a day in St. John's area if you're coming over. So we'll get down and see, the downtown area, George Street, which is the very lively evening area of St. John's, and then make our way to Signal Hill.
Yep.
And then later on this afternoon, make our way out to Cape Spear. So a full day of historical sightseeing.
Right. Well, definitely if you come to St. John's, you got to find yourself, I don't know, can we get fish and brews at a restaurant somewhere here if you were just a tourist in town?
Yeah, some restaurants will serve it. Probably not the big mainstream ones, but some of the smaller ones would serve it. I mean, it is very unique to Newfoundland, so I'm sure you can find it somewhere if you're looking for it. But
right. Great way to start the day. Thanks again for breakfast. Looking forward to an ultimate ride.
Absolutely.
Let's hit the road.
Yes, sir.
Now, if you decide to try this Newfoundland trip for yourself, let's get this straight. Don't be knocking on Aunt Millie's door looking for some fish and brews. She and Uncle Max are down east friendly and all, but I don't think they want to be hosting a whole pile of ME viewers from the east. Anyway, next week we'll be riding back through St. John's proper, up to Signal Hill for one spectacular photo op. This National Historic Site dating back to the 17th century is a must-see. Not only has it been a strategic lookout and the site of the final 7 Years' War battle of 1762, but Cabot Tower marks a spot where on December 12, 1901, the first transatlantic wireless transmission was received by our good friend, Mr. Marconi.